Hey guys, so this is my 1994 BMW 840 Ci. I've had this car for about a year and I've just been slowly fixing it up as I get the money and time to do so. I bought this car cheap. It was paid 9,000 Canadian for it. It's a little higher mileage and a little rough around the edges, but mechanically it's really strong. So today I'm going to be doing the rear brake service on it. So the rear brakes are getting pretty tired, and yeah, you can see there already the rotors are a little bit worn and the pads are getting low. And I've already did the fronts with so I did these R1 concept rotors, as you can see there, with some high quality ceramic pads, and that made the brakes feel a lot better already. I also did a ECS tuning stainless steel braided brake line kit on the whole car. So basically I'm going to be doing the same on the rear. So I've got the same R1 concept rotors, which I was quite happy with, and then I'm doing a Brembo ceramic pad on the back as well. So basically just finishing off the job that I started already. So stick with me and I'll show you how it's done. Okay, so we got the car up on the quick jacks here. First things first, remove the wheels. These are E31s, have a 17 mil lug nut. Okay, so now we got access to the brakes, the rotor, and the caliper. So there's a couple different ways to do it. Obviously, if you're just doing the brake pads, all you've got to do is remove the actual caliper right here, which means removing the two slide pin bolts. Those are 7 mil Allens. Then you can take the caliper off, replace the pads, put the caliper back on, you're done. Because we're doing the rotor as well, this whole thing needs to come off, not just the floating part of the caliper, but the caliper mounting part as well. So you could just remove those two bolts and pull the whole thing off, although these pads will probably get stuck on the lip of the rotor when you're doing that. So I'm probably just going to take off this part first, string it up, and then remove this the actual mounting caliper mount before removing the rotor. Anyway, hopefully that makes sense. I'm rambling. Anyway, first thing you got to do either way is remove this clip. My kit doesn't come with new ones, unfortunately, so I've got to be somewhat careful with it. Boom, just like that. So I got to make sure I keep these because I will be reusing them. Now that that's off, I can remove the actual caliper slide pins, which are, like I said, a 7 mil Allen. There's one on each side. They're going to have a little rubber cap on the end that comes off like that. Mine's missing one. And then you get your 7 mil. There's one. These were pretty tight in there, so definitely gonna have to grease them back up. Hopefully I won't have to replace any, but we'll see. Okay, so I got both the caliper pins out. Now it's just a matter of prying this guy off. Could be pretty tight on there, so, you know, go from the back to the front. Okay, so we got it loose now, obviously. And now we'll just get some wire to string this up, just so we don't put a lot of pressure on the brake lines. These are braided lines, so it's probably fine without it, but you know, we'll do it the proper way. Also not a bad idea to get some deep creep going on these, or whatever your penetrant of choice is. Let it sit for a while, as well as this bolt holding the rotor in place, because these are going to be a bitch to get off. Okay, so forget what I said a second ago. These are actually 15 mil for the back of the carrier here. Mine were just so corroded I couldn't get the fucking 15 mil one on there. So yeah, 15 mil. Don't try with a 16 or you're gonna have a bad time. Let's try this again. Okay, so top one's off now. Just taking the bottom one off. Bottom's a bit tough to get at. There's not a lot of clearance. I couldn't actually get a ratchet or an impact in there, so I'm just using a ratcheting wrench here, which should do the trick. Okay, now the carrier is off. We'll give that a good clean before we put it back on. Sweet. Next thing is to remove the rotor. Okay, so this one is a 6 mil Allen. I've been letting it soak. I'm going to use an impact on it because I'm lazy and I don't want to put the e-brake on. But just be careful with this one. You definitely don't want to break it. Like butter. Sweet. Now the rotor should come off. I'm guessing this one's going to be a bit corroded to the hub, so I may have to whack at it with the mallet for a bit to get it off, but that's how it goes with old Beamers. Okay, I ate my words. Make sure the e-brake is off, obviously, before you do this. But this wasn't corroded at all and came off super easy. Sweet. So now we will compare this with the new rotor. I'm going to put some anti-seize onto the hub here and around here. Okay, old rotor, new rotor. Okay, so I cleaned up the hub with a wire brush and I put a little bit of copper anti-seize on there. Now we can put the new rotor on. Yes, I am working on the other side of the car because my phone ran out of battery. Okay, so you remove this outside pad and then you can get your whatever you want to call this, caliper tool. This basically slides in here and then you rotate and it pushes this piston in back all the way into place, just like this. This tool is worth its weight in gold if you do a lot of brake jobs. It's not expensive, just buy it. But you can do it with a flathead as well. Just push against the old pads to get it into place. Okay, so these are the new pads. I got some Brembo ceramic pads off Rock Auto here. This is the passenger side, so I pried off the old sensor here and popped it back in place. Your kit may come with a new one. If it does, that's great. But mine didn't, so popped this off, put it back in place. Put a little bit of copper anti-seize around the edges here on both sides. You shouldn't really put any on this pad on the back of these pads, but depending on what pad you have, you may want to. So yeah, now we're ready to install these in the caliper. Okay, so now that I got the rotor in place here, I can put the carrier back on. It's just those two 15 mil bolts. Clean it up with a wire brush if you can. And once we get that back on, we will put the caliper, the new pads in the caliper, and then the caliper goes on as well. Okay, so the torque spec for these 15 mil bolts are 50 foot-pounds. So let's torque those up. Okay, so I've loaded the new pads in the caliper and slid it back on. It's pretty straightforward. On this side, you've got the wear sensor. It's just got the two little clips here that pop into this piece, and then the connector itself just goes in like this. Like this. And push it in until it pops, and that clips in here. Done. Now we just got the caliper slide pins. These guys. Clean them off with some brake clean if you have it, and lube them up with some grease, and they go back into the back of the caliper. 25 foot-pounds on those guys. And we'll continue from there. Hey, puppy. Oh, cutie. Okay, so we're done. Yeah, the caliper pins are in. They're 25 foot-pounds on those, and the last thing you got to do is put this clip back on. Easiest way to do it is to get these two parts kind of started first at an angle, and then just push it down as best you can until it's seated against the carrier here. And then, yeah, the last thing to do is put the wheels on. I believe it's 88 foot-pounds on the lug nuts. Drop her down and we're done. Thanks for watching, guys.